Way hey, up she rises, way hey, up she rises, way hey, up she rises, early in the morning. What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor? What will we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning. Way hey, up she rises, way hey, up she rises, way hey, up she rises, early in the morning. Put him in the scuppers with the hose pipe on him. Put him in the scuppers with the hose pipe on him. Put him in the scuppers with the hose pipe on him. Early in the morning. Way hey, up she rises. Way hey, up she rises. Way hey, up she rises. Early in the morning. Put him in the brig until he's sober. Put him in the brig until he's sober. Put him in the brig until he's sober. Early in the morning. Way up she rises. Way up she rises. Way up she rises. Early in the morning. I thought I heard the old man say, leave her, Johnny, leave her. Tomorrow ye will get your pay, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is long and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her. Oh, the wind was foul and the sea ran high. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. She shipped it green and none went by, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is long and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her. I hate to sail on this rotten tub. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. No grog allowed and rotten grub, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is long and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her. We swear by our oath for want of more. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. But now we're through, so we'll go on shore, and it's time for us to leave her. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Oh, leave her, Johnny, leave her. For the voyage is long and the winds don't blow, and it's time for us to leave her. We'll pay Paddy Doyle for his boots. We'll all drink brandy and gin. We'll all shave under the chin. We'll all throw muck at the cook. The dirty old man's on the poop.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Ludo History, as always. How are we doing today? Pirate time! Desert Cryptid, Kyra, this dude, and everyone else who is lurking, it is good to see you. This time with more primary sources. That's right, I did research off stream. It's funny how that works. It's almost like when we have a very specific person on hand, it's easy to look up stuff about them. Also, I did things I should have done a long time ago, and pull up, you know, our main source. Because there is one. one main source for most of the figures we see in this game. And for some reason, despite it being public domain, I hadn't had a copy pulled up to reference. We fixed that this week. Militia Shadow, you're just playing AC3 while waiting? Good fun. I know, right? It was silly of me. But we've fixed our errors, and so I have a copy of Captain Charles Johnston's A General History of Pirates. Pulled up, ready to reference whenever we need. Who may or may not be Daniel Defoe. Either case probably wasn't a good person, regardless of whether or not he was Daniel Defoe's specific levels of bad person. You know, it'll be a good time. So, I think we should just hop straight in. I'm excited to have more of this, so let's do it. So hello everyone, and welcome to Ludo History. As always, I'm Adam. If this is your first time tuning in, I am a semi-professional public historian, and so multiple times a week here, we just get to play some games, talk about the history we see in the games, and just have a good chill time. So, if you like what you see, do make sure you hit that follow button to be notified for all future streams. And if you want to help support the channel further, you can either subscribe here on Twitch, or you can head over to patreon.com/ludohistory, where for as little as $2 a month you can help support the channel. I'm super excited. There's some amazing stuff coming up. 10 days? We're 10 days from Stray Gods, and we are only a couple of days from Baldur's Gate 3. I don't have time to do Baldur's Gate 3 on this channel, but we're going to be doing Stray Gods the second it comes out. So, you know, get very excited for that. It's going to be a good time. But for today, though, we're going to be playing more AC4 Black Flag, so let's hop into it with more pirate action. And manuscripts. I don't know what to expect from, you know, the manuscripts, but we can find out. Well, I don't think there's anything else I need to do in Kingston. Go, go, go. Faster. Why the heck is our boat just out here in the middle of nowhere? Like, I know Jamaica probably isn't the most friendly place, but like, really? All the way out here? Oh well. Sup, chat. First things first, uprights. And I'm never gonna get used to those random human skulls. Literally never gonna get used to them. Ooh. Heavy shot. There we go. I was like, where are they? Oh, I need to be further in there. More storage. I probably could have. But it doesn't make it less a little bit silly. Heavy shot storage. More heavy shot storage. Crew's quarters, more crew. More heavy shot. Well, we are going to completely maul any boats that come our way. I think that's going to be very funny. Also, does this actually work now? No? Maybe. 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 Possibly. I'm gonna call that a no. Let's see if there's anything we can make here. Or anything we can buy here. Looks like I may just need to sell some stuff. I do that here, don't I? Sell. Sell cargo. Sugar. Yes. Rum. Yes. The crew's only maybe gun immunity if we do that. It'll be fine. Cool. We still don't have enough cash, but it's closer. Anyway. While I was looking stuff up for today's stream, I did notice one thing that's actually very... a nice touch. Like, genuinely a nice touch that they put in last week, but we did not catch. And that is that, you know, the fact that Mary Read identifies herself as Mary Read for the first time is in Jamaica. That's actually not like a coincidence. Well, it turns out that that is specifically a reference to a woodcut found in the general history, or actually it's not a woodcut, it's a copperplate print, but regardless, a print found in Charles Johnson's General History of Pirates of Mary Read. And in the Dutch translation of it, it specifically identifies her as operating in Jamaica. And so I actually don't think it's a coincidence that the mission where they have her drop the James Kidd disguise is also in Jamaica. I think that's actually a very, very sneaky reference, which is pretty cool to see. Yeah. Actually, chat, I can show you. Let's check something. I'm curious how much the design is actually how to say this? Related? Oh. I can't kind of. Alright, so there's the game's version of Mary Read. Here is yonder relevant example of Mary Read. Like, somewhat clearly the designs are not a direct copy, which is probably for the best. The copperplate print is... Make some choices, we'll say. But... Right, you can see that there is clearly some sort of relationship and parallel that exists between Mary Read running around in, well, generously called a low-cut shirt, wielding a cutlass, and generally being this big woman warrior with pistols and a sash, with the Mary Read we see in the game, though they do seem to play up, at least a little bit, the game Mary Read's relationship to Calico Jack, with the extremely fine textile work on her lapels. Sorry, mostly fantasy, mostly buying into some other ideas of other pirate aesthetics for the game's design, but you know, not coming out of nowhere. And as you could see on the caption for that engraving, like, of Jamaica. I'm not going to pronounce the rest of the Dutch because there's too many Dutchies in chat and they will not appreciate that effort. Because it would be bad. It would be an insult to all of them. So we simply won't. Where actually are we going? No, I'm realizing I did not pay attention to where we are. Oh. We're going to Nassau. Okay, well, fair enough. Maybe we just head there. Calling the shirt in the engraving, calling it a shirt is generous? That's true.
Another?
A rum flip this time.
And where'd I find fresh eggs in this wretched town? There's little else but piss and insects.
Aye, we're working on that.
Dear lady, what do they call you?
And when they're sober, a jilt when they're sauced, but never lady.
Well, good lad. No.
Jack. Jack.
Shite! Do you hear me? It's a bag of bloody shite! It's a ruse to keep us off before they attack Nassau.
Anyway, we are officially in
You'll see,
1718 now.
It's no ruse, Fiend. I heard it straight from the mouth of a greasy Bermudan captain. There's a pardon on offer for any pirate that wants it.
Ruse or no, I think it's plain the British may return to Nassau, with arms, no doubt. We'll need a plan.
Walk with us, Kenway. There's trouble brewing.
Uh-oh. Alright. Blackbeard, Mournigold, what's going on?
In the absence of any clear ideas, I say we lay low. No piracies and no violence. Do nothing to ruffle the king's feathers for now.
Preserving the king's plumage is no concern of mine, Ben.
It will be when he sends his soldiers to scrub this island clean of our residue. Look around you, man. Is this cesspool worth dying for?
Aye! It's our republic! Our idea! A free land for free men, remember? So maybe it's filthy to look at. But ain't it still an idea worth fighting for?
I can't be sure. But when I look on the fruits of our years of labor, all I see is sickness, idleness, idiocy.
Not a sunbeam of difference between here and London, then, eh?
Thatch is
Spoken
right.
like a true Bristol.
Taking a wide view, we're not doing so bad out here. There's sun, rum, and leisure as far as the eye can see.
Aye, Nassau may look fine from a distance, but at its core, there's a disease I cannot stomach.
Sickness can be
Apparently
cured,
neither can that guy.
if only you have the right medicine.
That guy can't stomach
But a
anything.
corpse cannot be reanimated.
I can't believe the shite I'm hearing drop from your lips. Why not take the pardon now and be done with it?
Peace, both of you. We can satisfy both aims if we work together. Find medicines to ease our burdens here, but in a way that don't attract the British.
I wager the nearest doctor is sitting pretty in Havana. Not a place I mean to go.
But the Spanish fleet that sunk 2 years back would have some medicine. All sealed up in glass vials.
You'd need a diving bell to reach those depths.
Aye, and with some coin and a few supplies, a diving bell won't be hard to come by.
This is a plan I can stand behind. Find medicines without stirring up trouble. Agreed, Thatch?
Agreed. Aye. I'll meet you near the wrecks as soon as you're able, Kenway.
Uh-huh.
Remember, Thatch? Keep your cannons, Core.
Character development.
Piss off, man!
Okay. New objective. Buy a diving bell. Well, fair enough. That's our weapon shop. That's not helpful. This one. This one's helpful. We're just gonna purchase it. It's gonna be fine. It costs nothing.
You require my services?
Good. Sure. Yeah, definitely. Easy. Easy 5,000 real. Good thing I didn't spend quite all my cash, huh? Cool. Yeah.
You have my thanks.
I still can't believe this guy's just fully got, like, maps of a quality that'll put an antique bookseller to shame. I think it's a weapon, Terralingua. Like, just to casually has maps of a condition that'd put any antique bookseller in the present day to shame. Look, it's right there next to our ram. It's... Right? It's a boarding tool. Used sufficiently improperly, anything can be a weapon? True. Also, hello Raptors, good to see you. We're gonna go diving.
All sails, she'll take it!
Best AC game by far. I can't super fault that. It is a fantastic. A fantastic AC game. You're surprised the Jacko is big enough for a diving bell in the crane? It's... I'll be honest. I don't think it is. I really don't think it's big enough for that. The whaling crane is definitely the more egregious one. Because it's pulling up an animal as big as the boat without tipping the boat over. And that's not quite how that works. They're fully... Exactly. Right, we've talked to this a good amount, and I think it bears mentioning, right? They're here for the vibes. And the vibes say that diving underwater is rad as hell. And I agree. It's another place where 19th century lit, though, in particular, I think has a huge influence on this 18th century game. Right? Specifically, right, we've talked about the odd, like frankly bizarre insistence of Moby Dick and the 19th century whaling industry on earlier tall ships. Like, pirates have white whales. I was like, wait, what? No, they don't. There's fully a century between those two. But I suppose that's the Queen Anne's Revenge, huh? I probably shouldn't attack the Queen Anne's Revenge, huh? Also, not a very big ship.
Reef in, all top!
Do it. I'd get desynchronized.
Devil in his hole, Thatch. This is a darling galley. 32 guns, is it?
I lost count at 40.
You've overstuffed that gun.
You've stepped up a rung. So, any luck finding medicines here?
Nothing round
Thatch,
this spot,
you put too many guns on that boat.
But there's a
You
few
do not have
wrecks
spots for
yonder that
40
have been
guns.
Scoured by nothing but crabs and coral.
I'll have a look.
Edward? Edward, is that you? My goodness, the West Indies is a compact place.
Hello, Bonnet. A surprise seeing you out here.
I met Mr. Thatcher a month or so ago, and he offered to take me under his yardarms, so to speak. Says I must wash the hayseed from my hair before I'm a true pirate.
Well, good luck to you then. Worst men have become better under Blackbeard's watch.
You forgot Steedy Bonnet is in this. He is trying. Yep. He's trying.
Unfurl mains, let's move! Lil off the loose mains!
It's very funny. You were watching Our Flag Means Death, and I'm like, wait a second, isn't he in Assassin's Creed? Yup. And this period he actually is, I believe he's Edward Thatch's quartermaster. So, actually correct.
Down below us, sir! Ease off the wind! Haul it all sail!
Used to read a Belgian or French pirate adventure comic following the story of a fictional veteran Redbeard. His dream ship is just totally OP. Yeah, that sounds right. Oh hey, turns out... you can just do this. Like more direct influences on including the diving are 20th and 21st century? Sort of. Right, I'm not gonna deny that there is... Hello. Hi friends. I'm certainly not going to deny that those are an influence. But the other one, I think that, or the other half of it that I think is particularly relevant is, you know, not Herman Melville, obviously, but Jules Verne. Like, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, I think, is, like, super relevant here, because there's, like, a whole major sequence where they are doing... Yeah, I've got plenty of error. Like, bruh, I've got plenty. Sinbad doesn't have diving stories in the Arabic. At least not in the translation I read. Which admittedly is not necessarily comprehensive. Oh. That's what this is. A barrel with a rock in it. That being said, other various adaptations of Sinbad do? Like, so the instinct is good there, even though Sinbad himself technically does. Could you please? That was not what I intended to do, but that's fine. I guess. Now that you made friends with the man, you can never kill it again. I may have missed this part of the con, but like humans have always been diving to some degree for a really long time. So even this period wouldn't be typically done close to shore. Yes. As far as I know, yes. That's something, if you want, we can look into in more detail. Convenient cave, huh? Yeah, and obviously, like, there were groups of people able to do relatively deep diving. The drama. Ow. Oh no. Research time. Let's get away from the shark first. Oh, so close. Frankly, a classic shark weakness, right? Or famously unable to track their prey through some very small seaweed. Uh-huh.
Ahoy! Any luck? I found one crate hidden beneath a school of sharks. Sadly, the elixir inside is quite spoiled.
Plague and perish. Will we steal medicines now?
Remember the pardon, Thatch. We're to be subtle.
Says Ornagold, a pirate, now too proud to call himself one.
He prefers caution to cannons.
Caution's nothing without charisma. If a man plays the fool, then it's only fools he'll persuade, but appear to be the devil. And all men will submit.
And would you be the devil?
Or an audience. Aye. All a big show. Give your quarry something to fear. Some hellish thing from a fever dream. And men will drop to their knees, pleading for their lord before all else.
Oh god.
Looks fine.
Of course it does. You can find a quiet way to acquire medicines. Tell me soon. Otherwise, I'll handle it myself.
Thank you. Well, I did loot some treasure chests. The sharks went for me. I don't understand it.
The scale's got teeth, Captain.
I don't understand
Look
it.
here, sir. There's
Pun
something in the water.
bit. Well, I believe we had a research time redeemed. In fact, we've got a kind of double one. True. There's a... You feel where you can play a ship-based gameplay, the best part of the franchise, and like the games focused on that. Well, yeah, Skull and Bones, you know, actually comes out, and it's not bad. Everyone who likes the ship-based combat is going to have a great time. Everyone else... let's see. You went to this teach. Alright. Well. The research time be for diving stuff. Before we do, I want to talk to you a bit more about Blackbeard. Because we finally have seen Blackbeard do the Blackbeard thing. And that's important. So we're going to do Blackbeard first, and then we're going to do diving. Because that's important. So, Blackbeard. Thank you, Project Gutenberg, for having an ebook of the general history of the pirates. So, claims he's from Bristol. Hence why I said, I mentioned that a bit earlier, when he's making fun of London. He is, yeah. Let's see. Where are the fuses? This is just going, isn't it? It just keeps going. Alright, let's see. Teach did stuff. Here it is. That is... Nope, that's just him using grenades. Which makes sense. Let's see if we can find a better order of things. Let's see. He attacked Virginia, and joined up with Hornigold, and... Oh hey, there's actually the reference to what's going to happen here. Right, Teach went aboard as a captain, and then Hornigold goes to Providence, where at the arrival of Captain Rogers, the governor, he surrendered to mercy pursuant to the King's proclamation. This does show the slow match hat thing. He's got it right there. He is also supposedly supposed to say it, I thought. I thought this was supposed to describe it. Let's see, is it a wick or a match that it describes? Here we go. Here we go. Now we have given some amount of Teach's life and actions, it will not be amiss that we speak of his beard, since it did not a little contribute towards making his name so terrible in those parts. Plutarch and other grave historians have taken notice that several great men amongst the Romans took their surnames from certain odd marks in their countenances. Says Cicero from a mark on his nose. So our hero, Captain Teach, assumed the cognomen of Blackbeard from that large quantity of hair which like a frightful meteor covered his whole face and frightened America more than any comet that has appeared there a long time. This beard was black, but he suffered to grow with an extravagant length as to breadth that came up to his eyes. He was accustomed to twist it with ribbons in small tails after the manner of our Romilly's wigs, and turn them about his ears. In times of action, he wore a sling over his shoulders, with 3 brace of pistols hanging in holsters like bandoliers, and stuck lighted matches under his hat, which appearing on each side of his face, his eyes looking naturally fierce and wild, made him altogether such a figure that imagination cannot form an idea of a fury from hell to look more frightful. If he had the look of a fury, his humors and passions were suitable to it. We shall narrate two or three more of his extravagancies, which we omitted in the body of his history, by which it will appear to what a pitch of wickedness human nature may arrive, if its passions are not checked. In the Commonwealth of Pirates, he who goes the greatest length of wickedness is looked upon with a kind of envy amongst them, as a person of a more extraordinary gallantry, and is thereby entitled to be distinguished by some post, and if one has but courage, he must certainly be a great man. The hero of whom we are writing was thoroughly accomplished this way, and some of his frolics of wickedness were so extravagant, as if he aimed at making his men believe he was a devil incarnate. For being one day at sea, and a little flushed with drink, "Come," he says, "let us make a hell of our own, and try how long we can bear it." Accordingly, he, with 2 or 3 others, went down to the hold, and closing up all the hatches, filled several pots full of brimstone, and other combustible matter, and set it on fire, and so continued till they were almost suffocated. When some of the men cried out for air, at length he opened the hatches, not a little pleased that he held out the longest. The night before he was killed, he sat up and drank till the morning with some of his own men and the master of a merchant ship, and having had intelligence that 2 sloops come to attack him as had been before observed, one of his men asked him, in case anything should happen to him in the engagement with the sloops, whether his wife knew where he had buried his money? He answered that nobody but himself and the devil knew where it was, and the longest liver should take all. Voila. Additionally, we get a different print, right? This is the print from the general history. This is from a later edition. But both of them show basically the same idea, right? We got the braces of pistols. We got the braided... Although this one has it more just a braid like a wig. This is more closer to dreads. And they both have the matches around the outside. Also, we've met this guy. The Major Stevie Bonnet was a gentleman of good repute in Barbados, and the advantage of a liberal education. He had the least temptation of any man to follow such a course of life. He was generally esteemed and honored before he broke into open acts of piracy, so he was afterward rather pitied than condemned, with those who acquainted with him, believing that this humor of going a pirating proceeded from a disorder of his mind, which had been too visible in him some time before this wicked undertaking. Yikes. He was ill qualified for the business as not understanding maritime affairs. You can see, the I guess comedic approach that the game is taking in that opening paragraph, right? He's if you read this, he is naturally suited to being the comic relief, because of course he is. Life happening to fall in with another pirate, one Blackbeard. The fellow was a good sailor, but the most cruel-hearted villain, who would not stick at perjury in the most abominable wickedness, for he was made chief of an execrable gang, having said that his post was not unduly filled, etc., 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 etc. Well, to him, Bonnet's crew joined in consortship, and Bonnet himself was laid aside notwithstanding the sloop was his own. He went aboard Blackbeard's ship, not concerning himself with any of their affairs, where he would continue till she was lost in Topsail Inlet, and when Richards was appointed captain in his room. The Major now saw his folly, but could not help himself, which made him melancholy. He reflected upon his past course of life, and was confounded with shame when he thought upon what he had done. So, you know. He gets convicted twice, and then gets executed. And then he gets executed. What is the... I saw something here that's a problem. Where did it go? Hmm. 90 men. So, in trying to capture upon it, they got 2 things. So then, huh. So, interesting. In this paragraph, something that we want to talk about potentially later is that Charles Vane, in a raid, took a slaver vessel carrying a crew of 90 people, or not a crew, a cargo of 90 involuntarily enslaved people, which they took out of the vessel and put aboard another sloop. Unfortunately, the Yates, this other pirate, Yates, abandoned Charles Vane and surrendered to the General Pardon. And the slaving continued. And Yates was part of that General Pardon. Yeah. Hello, what did you miss? We just got the diving bell. So we talked about Blackbeard, because Blackbeard just did Blackbeard things. And now we checked up on Stevie Bonnet, because we saw him as well. And now we're about to do a research time, because we love spending time out here in the Google Docs. So, the research time, redeemed by Terralingua, was on 18th century diving, and how the heck that worked. Let's see. The Old Gentleman. Well, that is terrifying, actually. Yeah, I don't enjoy that. A drawing dating to 1727 in the Swedish National Archive shows a similar diving suit to Old Roja. Or to the Old Gentleman of Roja. So this might be actually a contemporary diving suit, though used in the Baltic and Scandinavia rather than in the Caribbean. But... wow. That's actually pretty impressive. It's basically wood with then leather stretched over it, and then you manually pump bellows down like you would for a later diving suit. We saw, actually, back in our World War I deep dive, that autonomous diving vessels, things that don't have to be attached to by a cord, or autonomous diving suits, date to the 1910s, give or take. But yeah, apparently the non-autonomous diving suits, at least were being experimented with in the period immediately after Assassin's Creed 4. So that's pretty cool. That being said, let's see if we have any actual diving bells from this period. Wikipedia is claiming 16th and 17th century, or 17th and 18th centuries here. But if we want to take a look at, oh good, diving antiques. Engravings are great because engravings are relatively easier to date. But hey, it looks something like that. Exciting. So, but the style we have in the game appears to be the correct, at least, style of thing. Which is to say, just a bell. Just a bell. And then it's open up at the bottom, and so it kind of automatically regulates its own pressure by just, as you sink, the water crunches it up further, because pressure is increasing. And then you swim out from underneath it in order to do stuff. Annoyingly, exploring underwater worlds. Cool. In the late 17th and early 18th century British Empire. Well, you love to see it. You love to see that there have been things that have been actually published. Sadly, we only have 2 things available of it right now, but we now have an article title. An article, boo. Would love to open it in some, not that. Open with Firefox. Well, well, well. Thank you, academia.edu, for, participating. So, luckily, even though we do not have access to the whole book, we thank the author uploaded it to their academia page, and we therefore are able to get a full text of it. We love to see it. Alright. So, looks like the article starts in the 1670, really, in which there are early experiments in diving, and we get this kind of description. We get this description from conversations with divers that makes a lot of sense. Right, we can recognize this as probably a kelp forest with then some sort of either seaweed, or sea animals, sea cucumbers, things like that. Right. And while this, disagrees with the ruinous state of, contemporaries, it actually makes sense in an earlier framework, a medieval framework that describes the ocean as a parallel to the land. And so everything that has on land has a counterpart in the ocean. So there are trees and fruits on land, and so of course there are trees and roots, or trees and fruits in the ocean. Though in this case, this actually is describing some other stuff. Anyway, we can actually go over here. So, as was kind of tendentially mentioned in the game and in chat, especially in the case of disasters near the coast, people were unwilling to simply accept the loss of sunken goods. As a result, recovery attempts increased, and hence the interest in diving was first not scientific, but economically motivated. And so we get, in the early to mid 18th century, so the period for this game, we get diving bells. He did not say none but trifles could be dived for, but at present the heaviest things that are brought from the bottom of the sea, such as cannon, chests of gold and silver, which by means of machines the diver has time to rummage or wreck for. However, it is still a relatively new thing. Right, 1665, several cannons are successfully retrieved, suggesting that the technology is only a couple of generations old at this point. That being said, yep. Dive to a depth of 10 fathoms, or 18 meters, with his diving bell and stay there with ease as long as he please. So that still is not deep sea diving in the way we imagine it by any metric. 18 meters, so that's... what, 65 feet, give or take? So that's not... somewhere between 60 and 70 feet. So that's not, like, super duper deep. But you can't, like, without some sort of compression suit or anti-pressure support, you can't get smushed by the water much deeper than that. Okay, about 60 feet deep. So yeah, I think that... oh. If you dive too deep, you just die. And 13 fathoms deep, fully kaput. Hypothermia, predatory fish, drowning. No, predatory fish does not include sharks. Most of the time. Most of the time. That being said, right, we get... oh hey, English travelers increasingly came into contact with people of other nations who had greater swimming and diving abilities than they did. From the Bermudas, from Jamaica, even in the 17th century. Southeast Asia representation, Filipino diving expertise. 1711 compilation, Captain J. Wood and F. Martin report on the extraordinary diving abilities of Greenlanders, who were used as pearl divers on Yealand, and who are still supposedly pagan. So... the inhabitants are cruel, rude, and lascivious, and if they are excellent in anything, is diving under the water. 1718 description of indigenous populations in Brazil. Same thing for Black Africans, same for Native Americans on the Islas de las Pertas. So, yep, that makes a lot of sense to me, though the game doesn't really... the game is not really going to acknowledge this, right? The game seems to operate primarily in this European mode of diving, at least so far, partly because they have a Welshman being the main person. And it is compounded by the relative limitation of, you know, the representation of peoples of color who are not either assassins or Adewale, and the, basically total absence of indigenous Caribbean peoples from having agency within the game. So they're not having a lot of engagement with the cultures of diving and pearl diving from the Bermudas. And from elsewhere in the Caribbean. And, you know, dealing with a lot of these stereotypes. Yeah. Exciting. Cool. Cool. Big fan of that. But yeah, right. I think it does tie into some of the holes in this game's representation. In order to see that we're working that economic salvage. And, I mean, that makes sense, though, within the European piracy idea that they have in the game. The idea that are therefore economically motivated to perform these acts of salvage, and in so doing, utilize technologies like the diving bell in order to do it. Yeah. that being said, oh look. We actually do have, you know... Oh god, that's a chunky book. Sorry. A 1,300 page book on enslaved swimmers. Good lord. I don't know who this Dawson is, but let's find out. Oh, okay. It's a journal page. It's a 30-page journal article, not a 1,300-page book. Phew. Kevin Dawson. Oh, hey, by the way. There are his entire scholarship, significant scholarships, on enslavement as a, part of the whole maritime industry, including diving. And it says whaling? Where do we have... Whaling. Footnote 2. Caribbean, fishing and fishermen, slowboat and oral, multi cruise and alien... Okay, that is later whaling industry, I believe. Let's find out. Multiracial cruise of the American whaling industry. And here's a good methodology trick, right? Quick methodology note on how to do research, right? We started by just looking around, right? Looking around, seeing if we happen to find something. We found a potential thing, right? I've lost the thing. But we found a book that looks relevant through a keyword search on Google. We then translated that into a title search through Google Scholar to locate something. Once we have, we then identify another text that's relevant, and then we search for that. And this just shows up. And then we find another one. Is this looking... Okay. So yeah, actually it is starting with 17th and 18th century. It is actually starting with 17th and 18th century, though it does specifically, for the most part, look at the 19th century whaling industry based out of New Bedford. This is a cool museum, by the way. The New Bedford Whaling Museum is actually very cool. But yeah. I think I shall simply leave you all with a link to the enslaved swimmers and divers in the Atlantic World article, because we are out of time for this research redemption. But we do wish to acknowledge, right, like, I think it is important and helpful to acknowledge that we have quite a bit of stuff by Kevin Dawson and others exploring the work of enslaved people on these ships and in maritime industries like salvage, pearl diving, and sport. So, you know, Kevin Dawson looks like also has another one on enslaved ship pilots. Also, Andrew Carl from 2016 on African Americans on the water and by the shore. So, lots of stuff to continue going here if this is a topic you are interested in. And, JSTOR, even if you aren't at a university, you get 100 free articles a month with a JSTOR account. So, you know, that's cool. Just a thought. And with that, let's get back into the game. So what I'm saying is these diving segments should have been done by Adewale instead of by Edward. I don't actually know if I think that that's true, this dude. There's nothing in Adewale's history that they created would suggest that he has any particular ability in in swimming, or that he would be more suitable for salvage work than Edward is. Right? It wouldn't be a terrible choice, but given that Adewale is already doing a lot of heavy lifting as, you know, the one black character that's given significant screen time, I don't think we need to have him do even more work. Where are we actually going right now? We're going somewhere. Well, we should probably blow up. We should probably blow up this fortress, huh? It doesn't let me do it in a storm. Tragic. Now, having the crews on the do some specific things would be helpful. Well, you're saying that standing there waving at each other is not the...
Killer wave to starboard!
Are you telling me that having this guy just kind of stand perfectly still fully motionless on the corner is not what the crew should be doing? Look at those two, they're just hanging out. Didn't even, like, wiggle. Didn't even wiggle during a rogue wave. I'm kind of worried that they're super glued to the railings. I'll be honest. Steve, hello! Welcome everyone, Steve Raid! Shanty time! So hello everyone who came in over from General Steve. Also, all of my people, you should go check out Steve. Steve's an archaeologist who does very cool stuff, and a lot of Planet Zoo. So if that's your thing, like, go check out his channel. He's cool people. Steve Raid. I'm doing good, my friend. I mean, I'm playing Black Flag. Like, there's no such thing as having a bad time while playing AC Black Flag, as long as we're ignoring the meta plot. The Maya armor causes me some trauma, but other than that, this game rules. So we just finished a research time into the diving bell and diving technologies in the 18th century, and it turns out the game actually represents it really quite well. For how, you know, English and Spanish people were doing it. The bulletproof magnetic Mayan armor. No. Don't remind me. But yes, I guess to properly introduce myself to everyone who just came in. Hello. I'm Adam. I'm actually a semi-professional public historian. So we do a lot of historical games. We're just finishing up Blasphemous. We've got Black Flag. We've got Stray Gods coming up next week. So we're gonna have a whole lot of very fun games. And just hang out, talk some history, look at the general history of pirates with this game, and enjoy yourselves. So I hope you all have a good time here. Also, just acknowledge that this game looks amazing. Like, this game is not young by any means, but it looks incredible. Bulletproof magnetic Mayan armor? Every time I look back over here, it's just more pain and more suffering, Peter. God, it would have been so cool if it weren't, you know, obviously bad. If they actually had, like, late post-classic indigenous outfits as, like, an outfit in the game. Like, there's no real reason why they could have not done that. I mean, sure, it'd still be not ideal.
Awaiting orders! Ready to fire, sir! Fire! What a shot by fire! Fire! Take a shot! Right there, sir! Fire! Ready to fire, sir!
But it would have been better.
All in the stunts! Toss! Gallows! Wild! Fire! Starboard, Captain! Fire!
I don't think I blew that up properly. I'll be honest. I concur, having, Welshman Edward, I don't think that's optimal. But, anything that involves less Isu armor, or that, you know, represents material culture in a way that is not just, hey, guess what, it's secretly the Isu. Really? Well, time to do some murder. Wait, you took... Excuse me, sir. Sir. We all watched him take a sword through the... We watched him take a sword through the throat and then, be fine, right? Just get up like a champion and keep running. Senor. Honestly. What, you don't think... It's not I don't think. It's that I know perfectly well I would not be. Now, that might just be a case of me having, weak... I don't know, a weak constitution? But, I'd be willing to bet most people would probably also be not fine. So I would consider myself at least average in my inability to take a sword fully through the throat. Whee. Ow. My ankles. Skill issue? Understandable, thank you. Hey. Okay, now, you did nothing wrong. Monsieur the officer, you did nothing wrong, but I have terrible news for you. Hooray. Now, bull shark, a giant hammerhead, another bull shark, another diving thing, probably full of other wrecks, or of other sharks. A secret? Oh no. Sir, you are still in the wrong fucking... I'm sorry, I have to check. I have to check, right? We all agree. We all agree that's a Stetson, right? Let's chat. Small game. What year do you think the Stetson was invented? No Googling. That's cheating. I just did that. I just Googled, you all can't Google. 1827. 1856? Neither of those are correct.
Now you're ready to sail for the Horn. We're roll and go. Our boots and our clothes, boys, are all in the pond. We're rollicking randy dandy, oh. Heave a port.
1932, IDK. It is before then. Any more guesses?
Soon we'll be opening her out through the locks. Way, hey, roll and go. Where the pretty young girls all come down in their frocks. To be rollicking randy dandy, oh. Heave a port
1850s? We're close. 1865. In Philadelphia, of all places. I know, Raptors, you were so close. You had all the right numbers, But they were in the wrong order.
Soon we'll be rolling her down through the bay. We're Randy
Dandy, oh.
Heave ho, heave away.
Hey,
Hey, roll and go. The anchor's on board and the cable's all swung. To me, rollicking Randy Dandy.
So it's Cowboy Time Traveler. Yes. We're going to call it the world's most advanced Easter egg. It's an Easter egg for Red Dead Redemption 2, before Red Dead Redemption 1 came out.
What the hell's happened here? Were you attacked?
Other way round. It were Blackbeard who struck first. Opened fire on a British man o' war, the pillock.
What in God's name for?
Still searching for medicines, but he's gone barmy if you ask me.
I'll bring him home.
Leave him, man. He's heaped this trouble on himself.
Well,
Loose and trim too! Crowd on every inch of sail!
locate the Queen Anne's Revenge. Oh, good lord. What? That's actually a pretty big ship. Holy moly.
Reef the mains! Clew up gallants!
Well, I suppose it's not actually that much different than our... the Jackdaw is, but it's a little bit big. It's certainly taller.
Captain, there's a wreck yonder. Looks recent.
I see it. Let's hope Thatch hasn't come to the same end.
Another bit of wreckage, Captain. This is looking grim.
Aye. Keep your eyes peeled. Blast. This is getting well out of hand.
A dozen crates of medicine should not be so hard to come by.
That ain't my meaning. It's Thatch and Hornigold and this pointless feud of theirs. Can't you feel it?
I do, aye. But both men have their hearts in a good place. Both want the best for the people of Nassau.
Do
But
they?
is that the best course for us?
Do they?
Saving a city that ain't worth much. We're not men made to govern. We take and spend and live heartily wherever we go.
What solution would you propose?
The answer's in wealth and power, not politics. If we found the observatory, we'd see enough money to buy the whole of England. Or it might be we'd lord over these kings and emperors like they was peasants themselves.
A lot of large talk, Captain. But is it your crew you sail for, or yourself?
I mean the best for these men, Ade, I do. But this don't sit right. I feel like I'm running errands, not living my life.
Yes.
We must tread lightly. These waters are well guarded, sir. That wind's no small gale, sir.
To larboard, sir! Survivor here, sir!
Well, I'm thinking this didn't go super hot, huh?
Crowd on all the sail we have.
Trim the yards off the wind!
I should probably,
Ease the spanker.
Stands up! Let's get moving!
Loose top.
ease off on the wind enough that I don't tip over. Because, I mean, that frigate's also pretty close to just tipping over.
Hold down! Hold down!
Hold down and crew up. Furl those men.
Mains out! Let's go!
Get up those shrouds. Let's move.
Let's stay on low sail until this wind...
Every last scrap of duck on the wind!
Until this wind dies down, because otherwise I'm just going to run into something.
Bring in the
Like,
top halyards. Pull.
holy moly.
Quite the squall picking up, Captain.
And we are unfortunately going straight into the wind.
Loose all! Let's move!
We are going straight into the...
Goes the royals at
The
top!
wind is picking up nasty.
Straight into the wind.
Castaway. Still alive, I think.
Alright, so there's 4 or 5 survivors rescued. And unfortunately,
She'll take it!
Aloft.
you really don't want to be, really don't trust this wind. It feels like I'm just gonna, like, roll completely roll the Jackdaw under this gale.
Now's all but me.
Like,
The wind, my boys! Ease her!
not feeling good.
Puffs, gallants, royals. Stop.
See, the main problem with it being some sort of Easter egg is that Red Dead Redemption hadn't come out yet.
Should be nearby now.
It's just a guy in a Stetson.
Starboard!
For no reason.
Wind broad, Captain. Seems to be survived.
And like, unlike... Also, this fog is not helping my case. Like, holy moly. These are treacherous... This is just treacherous territory to be doing anything in.
Loose all, let's move.
Aloft, lads! Check those royals!
But... Anyway. There was a question of, like... Actually, yeah. You know, we can see it pretty clearly. That frigate is quite... that's a brig. A brig is about the same size as the Jackdaw. Notice it's got a top deck and then one gun deck. That frigate up ahead of us, not only does it have more and larger sails, it's got 2 full gun decks. Which is...
Incoming ship! Guns out! Brig! Royal Navy! Just a lone ship, Cap!
you know, big. In a word, that ship's big. That's your main... This is your warship right here, right? Ugh, and we may end up in a fight before we're done here, regardless of what I tried to do.
Ade, see that? It's her, Captain, the Queen Anne's Revenge. And she's in a bad way. No time for a vote. Thatch is outnumbered. The crew will understand. Beat the quarters, lads! We're sailing into hell! Thatch is overwhelmed. I'm going ashore.
How many guns does the Jackdaw have? I don't know the exact number of how many they claim it's supposed to have. Actually. Oh god, come on. Fucking... What are you doing? How? How can you not climb that? Edward! Goddamn. Should show in the upgrade menu? I believe that. Where's my smoke bombs?
Hang in there, Bonnet. Keep your arms up and your back to the sea. Stirred up a nest of trouble, Thatch. In service of a noble cause! Medicines, I hope you mean. Aye, a galleon nearby. And if we crack these lobsters quick, we might catch up to her. With all your book learning, prepare you for a scuffle of this sort, Mr. Bonnet. For certain, there's more to be learned by doing than reading. Remember that.
As I just fucking knock over Blackbeard. Oh my god, Blackbeard. Blackbeard, if you're gonna lose this, well, I am...
Legend ain't born from wildness.
Gentlemen, our galleon has reappeared.
Heads up.
Oh boy.
Back to my ship, quick as you please. She'll not slip away now.
Oh, this is too much.
I'll see you back to your jackdaw with
Oh, that wasn't what I intended to do.
Call it out.
straight for that bloody ship.
I'm busy. So, we are seeing the next tier of ship up. The fact that Blackbeard is trying to go after a goddamn galleon is insanity, but that's fine. That's fine. Look, I just want to get the one thing, okay? Just one thing. Really? Oh my goodness. Why? This is fine. It's fine, right? They did appear to be shooting a mortar at me, yeah. Exactly. Blackbeard's... Well, Blackbeard's is not a frigate, properly speaking, because it's a galley. The Queen Anne's Revenge isn't just is a galley. And I just missed the damn shiny because of course. But yes, it would be equivalent number of guns to like a frigate 5th rate. Oh hey, we're just on the Queen Anne's Revenge now. Well, that's good. Oh, it's so big.
Bear down on our Kenway!
Oh my god, please stop. Oh my goodness, please line up proper like.
Captain Ransom and she's Gurl! Let themselves explode! Make him...
Alright, Blackbeard's ship ain't messing around, turns out.
Captain Ransom and out of your sight!
You feel like this one's supposed to be here's your first taste of a big ship and that it's just like worse? Why is it not? Why am I still on the fucking... Aye aye aye. But yes, the Queen Anne's Revenge just fully did not mess around then. You went full pirate and... Has anyone ever been to... Good lord, look at how many cannon there are on this thing. Oh my god. You're a completionist to the point you've gotten most of the ship upgrades?
I'm not a man accustomed to murder, Captain. If you're taking quarter, you'll not be sleeping now. Suck a muzzle, gobshite. You'll be hanged and sun-dried just as them
Yep.
were in Boston. The King's called for a pardon.
Captain, we've searched the hold. It's a middle intake, but the medicine we found bears a Charlestown stamp.
Thank you, Mr. Hans.
We cannot resupply Nassau out here by force and accident alone. We should go to Charlestown for the
Yep.
lot.
The advantages of streaming this game is that since I can't go full things.
I fear I am not built for the fatigue and care required to live as a man of fortune.
Meet me in Charlestown. 1 month from today.
But yeah, Ocracoke as the island is on the Outer Banks near where Blackbeard was killed. Yeah. There's so many things. What ship is British Man of War?
Loose main sails!
Which
Crowd it all on!
yeah. Though they did alternate between calling it a Man of War and a galleon. The island is sustained almost entirely by Blackbeard tourism. Well, you know, you gotta respect the hustle. I mean, the amount of, you know... A legendary ship? Not worth it. Super not worth it. Right, Peter, I've not been there, but I have been to Loch Ness. And Loch Ness is similarly sustained, pretty significantly off of seasonal tourism. The legendary ships are awful, yeah. It's not a good time.
I think we're clear, sir.
Yeah, it just doesn't sound good. How about now? Right, an advantage of streaming this is that we have to actually like progress through the story at a reasonable clip and can't go full pirate all the time. Which means we actually stay close to the intended experience. Sort of. Sort of. Not that much, but a little bit. It turns out optional super activities are just like never worth it in Ubisoft games. Actually, in most games, right? Any game that I mean, I was seeing that in Blasphemous yesterday too, right? Games almost always assert, not really assume, just assert that the way you balance that endgame is everything has 5 quadrillion HP because they gave you too many tools. And so the solution is to just make everything hit super hard and have a ridiculous amount of damage and make the player just play perfectly for like half an hour. And so instead of having interesting design, right, they just have anti-player design. And that ain't good. That is not the way. Especially not in a history game where even, you know, the biggest, coolest, baddest ships and then we should be able to line that up quite nicely, actually. Nice. numbered last. Ah, boo, I need one more round. This is why you watch video games. Right. Scaling up the math is easy. Yeah. It's hard, right? I am not a video game designer. I never intend to be a video game designer. Because I don't want that job. That sounds like not a fun time of having to figure out how to... what the balance between, you know... making sure people can actually enjoy your content. And then... rewarding people who engage with all the crazy, insane mechanics possible. See also Path of Pain. Like...
Hold down and clue up! Stands up with a will!
There's no universe in which, you know... oops. Path of Pain is, you know, particularly fun, enjoyable, or easy. But... I don't know what this guy's doing, but that's fine. But they're like, hey, it turns out our movement's too good. What benefit does pirate gain from capturing a fort instead of just robbing it? Map visibility, it seems. Let's see, you shouldn't have done that. Now let's rob the place blind. And then we'll go kill everyone. I mean, to be frank, I'm barely persuaded that, exactly, the fort is the fog of war generator, and we don't like fog of war. We don't like regular fog either, but that hasn't stopped us. Well, bud, I have terrible news for you. Yeah, this is more like Francis Drake shit. Capturing fort means controlling that area of the ocean. Agreed. Right? In terms of an actual, like, warfare where we, like, you know, are trying and care, yeah, there's actually a whole lot of reasons why you want control of a fort. Like you want control of a castle, right? Like, that's the same logic. In terms of us being a man of, fortune and adventure, supposedly Pitt and Blackbeard also both bury treasure, though. Which doesn't make them not idiots, but, yeah. Nah. What will we do with a drunken sailor? What will we do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning. Thank God this isn't Dishonored universe, because oh boy. These answers are slightly less grim. Slightly.
Put him in the scuppers with the hose pipe on him. Put him in the scuppers with the hose pipe on him. Put him in the scuppers with the hose pipe on him. Early in the morning.
Admittedly, that's waterboarding. What they just described was in fact waterboarding, so...
Put him in the brig until he's sober. Put him in the brig until he's sober. Put him in the brig until he's sober. Early in the morning.
Well, why did it just fade out? Maybe how these guys sing through stormy weather? True. But those part of Ocracoke's shtick, Blackbeard's rumored to have buried his treasure somewhere on this island. No, you cannot dig for it. Yep. Yep.
Ease off the wind! Hey-o, Bonnet! Flying your own flag at last.
Yes. Yes, Blackbeard cut me loose, sadly.
Uh-huh.
Time to have a go at this myself.
Well, that's grand.
Yes, it's for the best, I think. I should have some wild stories when next we meet.
Look forward to your execution.
Your constant friendship has been my most treasured find on these seas. Well above gold and silver and rum, I prize the courage you have inspired in me this year. Thank you, sir. A fair good morrow to you.
But you're gonna capture like 13 ships and then get executed for it. I'm not sure that you should be thanking him. But.
Are you not loved? No! Are you not wanted by your wives, families, and countrymen? How else to explain your government's complete disinterest in your well-being? Hostages for medicines! These were my only terms.
It's always just medicines.
Yeah. 6 days of pure fucking silence.
Yep, the medicine guy. Nothing shady about him at all.
So I must conclude that you men are the pariahs.
Yep, this is unfortunately out of the general history.
And your bones for char. By Christ! This is my predicament. Kill ya. Or the pressure of my servant.
Because his crew was dying of STIs.
Well,
Well,
don't make hardly, but not with remorse. Ahoy, Edward.
What the hell are you doing, man? All of Charleston can see this mess.
It's the idea. Out of range, but well in sight.
we'll pull out the general history. We'll see what it says about this.
We sent a party ashore to partner with the governor. That were a week ago. No noise since.
I'll handle it. Give me a day.
But before we go handle it, we're gonna do a couple of things. Thing one.
There's movement up ahead. Is it soldiers?
Aye, and in something of a hurry. I propose we follow, else they spring something we ain't ready for.
Thing one. We're gonna check our main source for Blackbeard's life. The general history. And then thing two, we're gonna take an ad break. Nifty, this is the only bit where I go to this part of the Atlantic and never forget. True, because you'll observe that we're actually not on the islands anymore. That is not the right one. Because that's in Bonnet. Here we go. Alright. They took care of a ship as she was coming up out for London, commanded by Robert Clark, with some passengers on board for England. The next night, they took another vessel off of Charlestown, and also 2 Pinks coming into Charlestown, likewise a brigantine with 14 enslaved people on board. All of which being done in the face of town, struck a great terror terror to the whole province of Carolina, having just before been visited by Vane, another notorious pirate, but they abandoned themselves to despair and being in no condition to resist their force. There were 8 sail in the harbour ready for the sea, but none dared venture it out, being almost impossible to escape their hands. The inward-bound vessels were under the same unhappy dilemma, so the trade of this place was totally interrupted. What made this misfortunes heavier there was a long, expensive war the colony had had with the natives, which had just ended when these robbers infested them. Whoops. Thatch detained all the ships and prisoners, and being in want of medicines, resolved to take a chest from the government of the province. Accordingly, Richards, the captain of the Revenge sloop, with 2 or 3 more pirates, were sent up along with Mr. Marks, one of the prisoners who they had taken in Clark's ship, and very insolently made their demands, threatening that if they did not send immediately the chest of medicines and let the pirate ambassadors return, without offering any violence to their persons, they would murder all their prisoners, send up their heads to the governor, and set the ships they had taken on fire. While Mr. Marks would make the application to the council, Richards and the rest of the pirates walked the streets publicly in the sight of all people who were fired with the utmost indignation, looking upon them as robbers and murderers, particularly the authors of their wrongs and oppressions, but durst not much as think of executing their revenge for fear of bringing more calamities upon themselves, and they were forced to let the villains pass with impunity. The government were not long in deliberating upon the message, though 'twas the greatest affront that could have been put upon them. Yet for the saving of so many men's lives, among them Mr. Samuel Wragg, one of them with the council, they complied with the necessity and sent aboard a chest valued at between 300 and 400 pounds, and the pirates were back safe to their ships. Blackbeard, for so Thatch was generally called, as soon as he received the medicines and his brother rogues, let go the ships and the prisoners, having first taken out of them in gold and silver about 1,500 pounds sterling, besides provisions and other matters. And after that, they run up from South Carolina up into North Carolina and continue raiding, until he gets killed. Off the coast of Virginia. It's interesting he tries to make Charleston into a bayou in this game. You know, that's a good point. Well, we come back to that right after our ad break. Because we do need to take ad breaks every once in a while. I am most of the way through smoothly, so I need to get more water. And yeah. If you have been enjoying this so far, do make sure you hit that follow button for more good history content. Otherwise, we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. I shall leave you with more shanties. And we will return in just a couple of minutes. I shall also, as always, leave you with some questing snails, so do not go anywhere. We will be back very soon.
Now you're ready to sail for the Horn. Way, roll and go. Our boots and our clothes, boys, are all in the porn. To me, rollicking randy dandy, oh. Heave a pole, oh, heave away. Way, roll and go. The anchor's on board and the cable's all stored. To me, rollicking randy dandy, oh. Soon we'll be warping her out through the locks. Way, hey, roll and go, where the pretty young girls all come down in their frocks to be rollicking randy dandy, oh. Heave a pole, oh, heave away. Way, hey, roll and go. The anchor's on board and the cable's all stored to be rollicking randy dandy, oh. Come breast the bars, bullies, heave her away. Way, hey, roll and go. Soon we'll be rolling her down through the bay to be rollicking randy dandy, oh. Heave a pole, oh, heave away. Way, hey, roll and go. The anchor's on board and the cable's all stored to be rollicking randy dandy, oh. Stormy's dead and gone. Stormy along, boys, storm along, John. Oh, poor old Stormy's dead and gone. Ha-ha! Come along, get along, Stormy along, John. I dug his grave with a silver spade. Stormy along, boys, storm along, John. I dug his grave with a silver spade. Ha-ha! Come along, get along, Stormy along, John. I lured him down with a golden chain. Stormy along, boys, storm along, John. I lured him down with a golden chain. Ha-ha! Come along, get along, Stormy along, John. I carried him away to Montego Bay. Stormy along,
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that brief ad break. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Ludo History. As always, I'm Adam, and we are playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag, which is loads and loads of fun. We are currently attacking Charleston, South Carolina, for the sake of some medicine, which is apparently just, you know, a thing that happens. But there was a question real quick, about, you know, the fact that it looks an awful lot, like a southern bayou. Let's see. So, the solution, of course, is that we need to take a look at that before, and then we will hop back into the game, and, just crunch. It do be swampy, though. So, let's do that. Guess what? Very helpfully, Historic Charleston has an interactive map. So this is super helpful, because the 1670 map is actually going to be really, really, really helpful. As is this one, you know, colonial. Colonial buildings only. As you can see, the modern city of Charleston has been pretty extensively added onto. So it's now the entire peninsula has been expanded, but in the period here, none of these colonial expansions would have taken place yet, right? I mean, there's our harbor buildings. Up on stilts. And for the most part, right, you've got this incredibly scrungly looking peninsula. So this is all gonna be swampland. Like, I'll be honest. Especially, like, out here. That's all gotta be swamp. Maybe a little slightly less swampy out here on the headland, but on the interior, yeah, I'm gonna be honest. That doesn't bode super well. Oh hey, look at that. I wonder if these are still the historical trees. I wonder if these are the historical trees in the swamp garden. Yeah, that looks probably right. Yep. This is maybe not 18th century, but potentially early 19th century. Where we get big cypress swamps. And so, yeah, you don't get, like, the big visible root systems as much, but like it's a cypress swamp. It's a bunch of cypress, it's a bunch of magnolia, and you got this incredibly brackish water running in between them. I mean, honestly, if you've been to the Everglades, it's probably pretty similar in terms of ecology. But yeah, swamps along the coast and incredibly old-growth forest mountains on the inlands. There's absolutely no way in hell a ship built for the ocean is sailing through that. That's very true. Like, that's super true. Let's get that good picture, right? There. There's no... Navigation's going to be, not great through that. But, I mean, that's where we click back to the general history, right? That's where we take a look at the general history again and see what they actually did. And they're out on this... What it says, right, is... 9th of April... Something, Javanna. They lay off the sandbars. So last step here, of course, is Google Maps. We're gonna see if Google Maps actually still shows the old sandbars. Otherwise, we may have to get interesting about it. You got some of it. Yeah, actually, this shows it beautifully. Right? In the historical period, right, all of this river system is going to be probably generally more underwater, or at the very least be seasonal. So realistically, what you're actually seeing is that the Queen Anne's Revenge and the other ship are lurking out here on, like, Sullivan's Island and Morris Island, and so it's just not possible to get into the harbor. Right? There's no sneaking around here on, like, Folly Island through this swampland, or up all the way up here. Like, that doesn't happen. If they're out on the sandbar here, there's simply no way in or out through this strait, the only navigable bit of land, or bit of water, right here, without running straight into two ships waiting for you. So that's almost certainly around where they were at. And they weren't pulling all the way up into the marshlands here, and here, and here. So that's not what we're gonna do in game. We're gonna go right through the center of it in the Jackdaw, which is somehow going to work. Honestly, though... Wait, do we actually get to see it here? Like... Sorry. How are they Where's the town? Sorry. Quick question, game. Game. Small question. Where is this the town? I mean, yes, that's clearly the town. You can see the buildings on the map. In which case, where's South Carolina? What's stopping? Why are we sneaking through here with a gunboat when we can just sail up? That's wild.
What's your thinking?
Blackbeard's been at this 8 days already. So it's a good bet. Someone out there has prepared the medicines, just in case.
Ah, but they're stalling. Thinking up ways to avoid paying it out.
Aye, so let's find where they've gathered and hope for the best.
Were they deeply
Careful,
strange?
Captain. We're drifting close to a watchtower.
Deeply strange option. These were nightmares. True. Why are we sailing the Jackdaw through such shallow waters? We could have just used, like, a punt. Literally, why are we doing this?
There's another watchtower.
Yes, I know, Ade. They made it very obvious. Okay, but like... It would have been so much cooler.
It would half sail, Captain. Speed will do us no favors here. Careful with the banks.
No, they...
We cannot pass them undetected, Captain. And there is no other way.
There's always another way.
All stop!
Your crew is lampshade. Even Kenway is like, no. No, this ain't it. Chief. You just put off forever because it's stressful? That's understandable. This is not... This is not particularly easy. Alright, Dildrum. Have a good time watching D&D. Good work, team.
Lose the mains.
Good work, team. Honestly.
I see them. Over there.
Yeah, I see them too.
Let us hope the river remains this wide.
Yeah, why are we doing river sailing in an ocean-going vessel?
Built for the open ocean, not stuck in bayous.
Yup. Cypress swamps. I mean, I know bayous is a good term to sum up a cypress swamp. But, like, it's a cypress swamp. Let's just be clear on that.
If we run aground here, we may never get out.
Noted. Trying real hard to not run aground here. Thank you.
Be sure they don't spy us trailing them.
I don't think there's a path through. There absolutely is. Never mind, we're good. Trust to my eyes.
Steady as she goes, Captain.
Well, good thing the sails are so responsive.
Furl all sails.
That's another... Damn. How the hell am I supposed to get through there?
Hold down. Reef the mains. Loose the mains.
Oh, there's a dock right here.
Douse them all.
Why is the gunboat just fucking... Sorry. Why is the gunboat just stopped? Like...
Catch the wind. They're getting away, Captain.
Then I'll have to go on without her. I'll be back. With the medicines.
Aye, sir.
Was I reversing? I was not reversing. Use sleep darts on a crocodile, you say. Hello? I would love to skin this crocodile. Oh my god. Hello? I would love to be able to skin this crocodile. Hello?
Only be thankful his ship remains anchored. It hasn't torn apart into the art of Charlestown. Someone ought to do something. They'll be hunted down eventually. Every last one of them.
You know, understandable. The fact that the game implies that the problem.
Talk about our weather another time, mate. Bit of a hurry.
What do you mean? What do you mean, how did it get there? Just, it got there the way it got there. Obviously. Like, you weren't gonna have us climb nothing.
It was a crocodile, wasn't it? It's coming straight for us, I can feel it.
We're in the Americas. There are no crocodiles. Honestly, learn your herpetology.
You seen any crocodiles tonight? I could have sworn I saw something past the boat. No. Quiet night. Are you sure? There's something in the water.
Quiet till you showed up. Go on then. Captain's waiting. God, the bastard's running.
Oh, walk this way. Walk this way, goddammit.
Almost there. Good. Captain Wyatt is not a patient man.
For God's sake.
Then speed along, you're expected, and you know how.
Oh, Christ!
It took him! It took him! I told you!
Just row! For God's sake, row!
I told you there was something, didn't I tell you? Oh, God.
Let's just get out of here!
Listen to what he's telling you.
Well. They're not a joke. At the same time, they don't do that. I'm just gonna acknowledge it. Well, the signs are not jokes, and gators are kind of scary and a problem.
There was an accident. Private Simon! This crocodile.
I don't care about your accidents. What's the word from the harbor, soldier? Speak.
No change, sir. They're holding fast, but are yet to kill or maim any of the captives, near as we can tell. Perhaps it's time to
surrender? To surrender? I've been entrusted with the affairs of the town, and I do not intend to bow to the demands of a pirate, no matter how fierce his reputation.
Yes, sir.
As As long as the supply key is with me, no man shall touch that medicine. May plague and calamity strike them all.
Bloody idiot.
What?
Pirates! The ship's here! Pirates!
Fall back to the mansion! Say hello to the prince.
Help!
Damn it. I don't care. I'm just gonna get this guy. Now, I will observe, there's literally no reason for this guy's responsibility to be like, oh yes, no one shall ever. This is stupid. Right? Did the soldiers all realize just how stupid this is? Maybe I'll go up over this way.
What the hell? Hey!
Maybe we'll get him over here.
God save me! And flay all you devils!
Blackbeard made you as good an offer as ever a man got from any pirate. You might curse his methods, but medicine was all he wanted. And now he'll get it. You should have bartered, mate.
It's a very modern, we don't negotiate with terrorist attitudes. It really is.
He has returned, Captain!
But you'll...
What's the take?
2 crates. And the means for mixing additional doses.
That's right thinking. Precious little of that these days.
You hear that, Mr. Rags? My young friend returns with offerings and so saves your scrawny neck. Will you not thank him?
You should quit these waters, Thatch. The governor, he's bound to...
Historically speaking, negotiating with pirates is the profitable choice.
You go on ahead. I got some business in the north.
Stevie Bonnet is around in this game. We just saw him. He just got ditched by Blackbeard.
Giving up on us.
And was like, you gave us so much courage, you're my best friend. And
I'm in my 4th decade on this earth.
Yeah.
And if I don't find some means to make the 5th quiet and cozy voyage, I'd rather sink to the devil's doorstep than call myself captain another year. Now we'll meet again, lad. In this world. Or the one below.
True. Don Jefferson is shaking with anger looking at the Barbary States. And Jefferson can just keep doing that. True. Barbary States, by the way, are...
Have a minute? I'm on my way upstairs. IDJ wanted to talk with us about putting together a trailer using some of the footage you've been recording this past month. Take your time. I'll meet you by the elevator.
Being that life is both sacred and priceless and worthless, being an eternal smith, being that life can be easily construed from my responsiveness, thinking features, being that those who came before and beautiful flame may remove it readily, shall be defied of. I was not expecting Mercia Eliada to make a guest appearance in this, but that's fine. I guess. Oh, there's Bonnet. That's fine, I guess. I think that's from the Issa worshipping splinter cell of the Templars. I mean, yes, but the statement of sacred and profane is quite clearly a reference to Mircea Eliada's name, book of the same name. So, huh. Huh.
Over here.
Yeah.
Are you ready? He's waiting for us.
No, but that's fine. I'm not ready. We're going upstairs, aren't we? Good
I
luck.
just watched some of your footage from this week. It's amazing. Blackbeard was mental. And we all got so excited that we started talking about this idea for a trailer about him.
Hey, wait a minute.
Maybe start with him drinking, talking to some pirates, telling a story.
Yeah.
We cut to him leaping across the deck of his boat and... Sorry, his ship, not boat.
Are they...
Jumping around...
Are they pitching our flag may die? No, they're pitching the E3 trailer
obviously we're gonna have to
that Ubisoft actually showed.
It's looking good, but it could be great. I'm getting a shiver in my timbers just thinking about it. Sorry.
It runs if you sit on the entry screen. If you sit on the like splash screen when you load up the game, it rolls after about 30 seconds.
Bonjour, ça va? I hope we're not late.
No, you can go right.
Hi, Melanie. I saw you just walked in. I need a few minutes with you alone. Laeticia is on the phone and we're discussing the Kenway project.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry about this. I'll call you when we're ready.
Yeah, real cute. By real cute,
Shouldn't be long.
I hope you mean,
Hello? Hello? Do you have a second? Of course you do. Head to the waypoint on your map. I have another job for you. I'd like to link all the cameras in the building to a central monitoring system, but most aren't calibrated correctly. Another locked door. Not a problem. Voila. You now have level 2 security clearance. Not bad for your first few weeks.
Okay, but can I get
Find
level
the camera
3?
control station first.
I would love to get into that server room. I don't know what I do in it, but it'll be funny. Why are these... We could go yee! Oh, there's so much we could do. We could fling ourselves so far. Do you think a leap of faith works at this height? You know, you wish they kept with this kind of framing? I mean... Yes and no.
I'll update your communicator.
It's helpful because seeing the discussions that these fictional game developers have matches really closely with things we know from other projects are the actual conversations that go on. And so we get to see that. And so from someone who's interested in history and adaptation, it's like, that's super cool. On the flip side, the sheer audacity of making themselves the bad guys is,
Ah, this is an interesting security measure. It looks like you need to find the right combination of numbers to adjust the wave. Easy enough, right? Pick a number selector, then change its value. Once you find the right combination of numbers, you should get access.
Cool. How do I do that? Oh, that wasn't right.
Ah, this
Yes,
is
yes,
interesting
I understand.
security measure. It looks like you need to find the right combination of numbers to adjust the wave.
Using
Easy
that.
enough, right?
Okay.
Pick a number selector, then change its value. Once you find the right combination of numbers, you should get access.
Cool, so it's just multiplicative. So it's just it's multiplicative. I mean, what happened in the other games? Unity and Syndicate put it in... Unity had nothing.
I understand that, Laeticia. I'm sorry if that came up wrong. We are not trying to be a bottleneck here, but we just don't have the resources right now to do 2 times the research.
Finding that balance is your priority. Your entertainment products are simply a means to pay the bills for larger and more important work. That's the way the world works. Dirty money buys clean hospitals. You get it?
We're on board, Letitia, rest assured. We have our best employee working on this, but it will take time.
That means you.
Good. thank you.
Oh no, I'm the best employee? That's terrible news.
Seeing what you deliver. Until then, I'll see you at the shareholders meeting, Olivier.
Looking forward to it. Bye-bye. Tabarnak! It's a little too early for that kind of abuse, huh?
Well, I started a month ago.
Come on.
So, what's next?
We do as the lady says. Focus on the observatory.
I should move, huh?
Assassins, Templars, crazy talk. I'm curious about this shareholders meeting, though. How about you break into Olivier's office and see if you can find his schedule? Oh, what? You don't like that idea? Well, how about I blow the fucking whistle on you, hacker? I own you. What I mean is, I don't want to ruin your life. So, do as I say. Now, step over to the window.
This is a bad idea. I've been busy being a pirate. I don't know my coworkers' names yet. True. I didn't think we'd get to deal with this soon. Okay. I am at the window. Oh. What?
You can't waltz into Olivier's office through the front door, so I've opened another route. Up we go. Did you know that Abstergo was run by Templars?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like crackpot stuff, I know. But then again, the moon landing was fake, right? So, anything's possible.
Sir. Sir.
All right.
You are.
Either you walk through that door, or throw yourself off the terrace. Those are your options.
Throwing myself off the terrace sounds awfully nice right now, not gonna lie.
Oh, well done, kiddo. Find his computer. Make it snappy. We're looking.
I'll be honest. I would rather, not do this, but that's fine. That's fine, I guess. Oh boy, salute, most of you know I'll be attending the Chicago Shadows meeting from the 15th to 17th, and we'll see our progress with the Kenway line. Tomorrow day we've all gathered incredible, and we anticipate even more amazing finds. One of the most eye-opening explorations of piracy ever seen. At the same time, Consumer Cloud Interface app. Oh. Oh. Okay. What other, the creation of the Assassin's Creed franchise. One complete virtual experience per annum. Fully or partially sequenced Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Revelation, Assassin's Creed 3, New England and American Midwest, Assassin's Creed 1, Unity, cool. Napoleonic Wars, Taiwan. Yeah, that's not going to be problematic, what the hell. Well, that's an interesting... Huh. i.e. 20th century, as far as World War II might sound, we do well to avoid vehicles, because, yeah. Examples 4 and 16 might be a problem. Irish War of Independence, oh boy, yep. Yep. Oh boy. No, yeah. Can we use this technology to educate, not placate? I mean, theoretically, we have all of human history to explore. All of our achievements and brightest moments. It's a little disheartening to hear we need to focus on wars. and conflicts and violence. Not that I'm against violence per se, it's just violence isn't terribly interesting in bulk. That's all, there's so much more nuance to life. So I found the memories of someone who worked with Albert Einstein, or Charles Darwin, or Marie Curie. Moments where humans show their very best potential. Come on, until oily, humorless university professors start paying us 8-figure fees to research the reification of normative gender signifiers in pre-colonial India, again, that sounds like an excellent project. I would happily read that. Why don't we stick to shit that sells? Aww. Jack the Ripper, Robespierre, Napoleon Bonaparte, Billy the Kid, Wyatt Earp, Genghis Khan, the Mongols. No, we're not going to earn back 1/10 of the money we have poured into this, reliving the memories of the guy who sat next to Einstein as he bit his nails while working out the final details of general relativity. Evan, let's take this offline. Look, I'm just saying, the reification of normative gender signifiers in pre-colonial India sounds excellent. The problem is, right, this metaplot stuff just makes me sad. But, this is, especially in the moment the game came out, like, this what is the popular media belief, right? A couple of, this is... How to phrase this, right? What, this game is what, 2012? 2013? Somewhere in there. But, right, there's a moment in gaming's 2013. Still, that's the tail end of games being like, hey, mid-2000s cover shooters is peak design. Right, this is still before the indie renaissance. This is still before a lot of, this is before the development of the walking sim as a profitable genre. Right. This is where the dominant trend for the previous decade, or for the previous 6 years, had been, cover shooters. And the closest we get to criticizing that is a game like Spec Ops, which is, what if war crimes but you actually felt bad about it? Instead of just, what if war crimes? And that's the milieu Assassin's Creed is born out of. And so, well, the milieu is definitely changing in this period, and right, you'll see it continue to shift over the next 3 games, right? Unity, Syndicate, and by Origins, it has shifted. But yeah, right, this is the same year as BioShock Infinite. So... it's... like... this is a genuine, like, especially interactive gaming media milieu that exists in the moment this game comes out. That is no longer as dominant, still pretty dominant, but not nearly as dominant. And so I think in 2023, right, 10 years on, right, Journey came out a year before this. Yeah, but big franchises turn slowly. But right, this is fairly early in that turn. Right? The signs that there is a turn are happening, but we're still early on. And so, and this is, I guess also, right, a lot of the people on this, like, discussion in this thing, what are the films that they grew up on? Because when we're talking about video games and adaptation, we're actually talking about, we really start with cinema. What are the media that they grew up on that are shaping how they think about history. For a game dev, which tends to skew young as a profession, in terms of games that they would have grown up on, Doom. And in terms of movies they would have grown up on, 300 and Master and Commander. And Conan. Muppet Treasure Island, yes, but also not Muppet Treasure Island. You're not wrong. But right, 300 and Master and Commander are the two that come to mind as mid to late 90s or early 2000s super high budget historical ones. And gee, can't you feel that cinematic language showing up? Saving Private Ryan, yeah, that's on the tail end, right? That's ever so slightly later, but no, that's a good shout too. Master and Commander does rule. You're not wrong.
You sneaky bastard. A pirate through and through, ain't you? Now, get down to the lobby. There's a courier waiting. Yeah, that's right. I've been planning this for a few hours. Now, wait. The receptionist. Hold on. I'll try something.
Are you going to scrub the cameras for me? Please? You do think Monty Python and the Muppets are an influence on the humor, but you don't think this game executes on it well?
As gullible as ever. Now, hurry down to the lobby before I remotely detonate your earpiece.
I prefer you don't do that.
Don't even think about ratting me out. My tracks are covered. Yours ain't.
I understand that. I'd appreciate it if you'd cover mine. Don't, Raptoris, look, the Templars are as observant as ever.
Did you like the allongé?
I practiced.
I think you pulled it a little too long.
Oh, come on. It's not encrypted code, for God's sakes. It's just a bloody coffee. Oh, hooray! It's our old friend.
Hey there, I just got a call about picking up another transfer.
Aw, you said you were here to see me.
Yes, that is one of the perks. Let's see it. A conference in Chicago, very nice. Thanks for this. We'll be in touch.
Ciao, Rebecca. Text me.
Stuff it, Hastings.
Uh-huh.
Oh, le gars était vraiment grand avec des cheveux longs et raides.
Well done, friend. Very well done. Apologies for my temper tantrum there. You are with the good guys, I promise. We'll keep you safe. Trust me.
I
Go
don't...
back to work. We'll be in touch.
John, I need you to understand just how little I trust you. I'm not persuaded he understands, but I need to impress upon him. I, fully, utterly, do not trust him. John and Rebecca I trust. I mean, who can resist the world's worst, You know, I'm realizing I actually don't care about this. My brain was going completionist instinct. I'm realizing I fully don't care. Unclear. He's also... Right, he also, very unfortunately, does not have the privilege of, knowing future games. I can see into the future, and seeing into the future tells me he is not in future games, and therefore I don't trust him.
You'll be hurt out there. I couldn't handle that.
I'll be careful, I promise. And when I'm flush with coin and set up, I'll send for you. I will.
Caroline, come away! Don't I can't promise I'll come, Edward. If you leave on this fool's errand, I cannot promise anything.
Don't give up on me, Caroline. Not when I need your faith the most.
Well, darn, how dare she exert reason and agency and her parents did not approve.
Just a short letter home. I reckon she's past caring anyway.
That...
Oh, you're a hard heart that should be softer.
Or soft in parts that should be hard.
And how is it you're so keen for his hard parts, Mr. Rackham?
You'd like to know my secrets, would you?
Oh, aye. Give me a small hint, like. Or a large one, if you're an upright gentleman.
Open your hand.
Oh.
Who's shooting?
Might be them ships sliding into port.
Jesus.
Oh, hey, by the way, it's Anne Bonny. Well.
Hear that, Captain Kenway?
We made an attempt. There's Anne. Everyone say goodbye to Anne Bonny. We won't see her again for a while. Yep. She sure did. Sigh. Yep.
Well, I'll be hanged. George has grown tired of our shenanigans. Who's the grim fella?
That's Captain Woods Rogers. Not a man I want seeing my face.
We desire a parley with the men who call themselves governors of this island. Charles Vane, Ben Hornigold, and Ed Thatch. Come forth, if you please.
Hear about the King's pardon, I reckon.
What the hell is Hornigold doing?
Really living punk!
Uh-huh.
What are you men up to?
I am grateful for your geniality, Captain Hornigold. I assumed our reception would pique...
Don't mistake my decorum for deference, Governor. I'm eager to hear what you have to say, but of uncertain mind otherwise.
Very well
What the
put.
fuck are you doing up there?
Fairer shake than I expected to see from any pirate.
Sorry, what? Why are there fucking... Why are there guys up on the roofs? I'm gonna desync annoyingly.
Don't mistake my decorum for deference, Governor. I'm eager to hear what you have to say, but of uncertain mind otherwise.
Very well put. And it's a fairer shake than I expected to see from any pirate. But I promise fair treatment to all who hear me out.
Won't do you a lick of good. Men like him are a blight on His Majesty's reputation and a peculiar cancer afflicting the New World. The King wants them eradicated, above all else.
You're gonna follow along? Thank you. Good lord. So...
A respected advocate taken out in the street and beaten.
Is this the town square?
As close to one as we've ever had.
Incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Cleaner than a dock kennel. Captain Hornigold, please call your men.
Mm-hmm.
Rackham, Vane, the Governor's come calling. Bring Burgess and Cockram as well.
Wow.
It's as if they seek our outrage expressly.
What are they doing?
Won't be long.
Fan out, lads, and take this.
They shall express me well.
Aye, the king has been particularly ineffective in bringing about this change, hasn't he? And has failed at all attempts until now.
Careful how you talk about His Majesty, Governor. You're here at his pleasure.
I have my methods, Commodore, and I expect you to honor them to the letter.
To the letter, you say? Well...
Advance, a lot of you. Make way for the king's emissaries.
Out of the way, you bastards! Go on!
Our only aim here is to treat with the masters of this community. All others are encouraged to go about their usual business.
Go on, move!
Commodore Chamberlain.
Go!
Please see that all merchants, masons, and carpenters are rounded up and brought to me this afternoon. We must see about repairing this fortress.
Joyous.
We should be confiscating weapons, Governor. Send these pirates a clear, strong message that the king's emissaries are not to be trifled. We should send every goddamn ship not flying the king's colors. To do otherwise protects a certain weakness in our bearing.
Silence, Commodore! I am the goddamn governor here, serving at the king's pleasure, and I will make the bloody decision. Is that clear, sir?
Aye, sir. Your wishes are clear as crystal.
Seriously? Hopefully that at least resets their aggro, because that would be nice.
Run out, lads, and take this shanty town as if it were your own.
Back to here, eh?
Been particularly effective in bringing about this change, hasn't he? And has failed all attempts until now.
Careful how you talk about His Majesty, Governor. You're here at his pleasure.
I have my methods, Commodore, and I expect you to honor them to the letter.
Oh, for God's sake.
Advance, a lot of you. Make way for the king's emissaries.
Out of the way, you bastards! Go on!
Our only aim here is to treat with the masters of this community. All others are encouraged to go about their usual business.
Go
Sure.
on, move!
Uh-huh.
Go!
Commodore Chamberlain, please see that all merchants...
Exactly, I have no wish to stir up animosity here, he says, as his soldiers turn auto-hostile. Exactly.
We must see about repairing this fortress.
Now, I should mention that most of the people talking right now are actually historical. Or at least in the general history. Which is not quite the same sentence, but is not far apart either.
Though well armed, we are outnumbered by a decent margin. Slow persuasion is our best and most efficient weapon.
Twaddle, Governor! We should sink every goddamn ship not flying the king's colors.
Hey.
To do otherwise protects a certain weakness in our bearing.
Silence, Commodore! I'm the goddamn governor here, serving at the king's pleasure, and I will make the bloody decision. Is that clear, sir?
Your wishes are clear as crystal.
I'm hidden. I am the hide it from sight. There we go.
These are the charts, Commodore. We're in position.
But yeah, Captain Rogers is who Ben Hornigold supposedly, or Governor Rogers is the one who Ben Hornigold supposedly leaves to, right, or surrenders to, under the King's General Pardon of 1718. So this is actually, like, a thing. Do I need to get into the... Let me guess, I need to get into here to listen to them. Joyous. Kill guards while hanging from a ledge. Well, we can make that happen. Potentially. Yay. But yeah, while I was doing... On another note, as we saw another historical figure, Anne Bonny, existing, but that's about it. Bears mentioning, right, while I was doing research, because, you know, I was responsible and did that.
Get back on the ground.
Nope, nope.
Hey, where do you think you're going?
Crap. That's gonna hurt. But yeah, when I was doing that research, I came across an article by Marcus Redekar, who is a name that has shown up a handful of dozen times already in the stream so far, or in this series so far, because he is one of the best known historians of the 18th century Atlantic pirate phenomenon. And he observed that, right, it is not... Hello? Please. Please don't.
That in case any of the pirates shall on or before the 5th of September, the year of our Lord 18, surrender him or themselves to any one of the principal secretaries of state in Great Britain or Ireland, or to any governor or deputy governor of any of our plantations beyond the seas, every such pirate and pirate so surrendering him or themselves, as aforesaid, shall have our gracious pardon. Oh, and for such his or their piracy or piracies, by him or them committed before the 5th of January next ensuing. And we do hereby strictly charge and command all our admirals, captains, and other officers at sea, and all our governors and commanders of any force, castle,
Well,
or other
interesting.
and all our officers, civil and military, to seize and take such of the pirates who shall refuse or neglect to surrender themselves accordingly.
That was nearly real bad, huh? That was nearly real bad. Where am I going with this? Oh, right. Marcus Redekar notes that Anne Bonny and Mary Read, though they are the two that get the most attention by far, are not actually the only two attested female pirates. There's actually like a half a dozen. There's actually like a half a dozen of attested female pirates or women warriors. And so Redeker connects it.
Oi! Stand still.
No.
Hold.
Connects it to a literary
I pray you
phenomenon.
take the prudent course, gentlemen, and accept the king's pardon as soon as your hearts allow. For until such time, all of you will be confined in Nassau.
Mm-hmm.
I am sorry for this.
We'll pull up the article as soon as we finish this sequence, but...
This pardon is your best bet.
The governor puts it far too brightly, maggots. Take this message home. Accept the king's protection forthwith, or we will raise this town to its foundation and stretch your bloody necks.
Peace, Commodore Chamberlain. We are messengers, not executioners. Not yet.
But yes, we shall...
Oh, thank you, sir. God save you.
Uh-huh.
Look on this as a stroke of fortune, lads. We should take the king's pardon and salvage what dignity we own.
Peace. I'll be hanged before I surrender to that bobbin.
Check your head, Vane.
Yes, Liz, Mary Read and Anne Bonny were in the Caribbean in 1780.
And maintained by men of vision. But in 2 years, we pissed it away. I won't make that mistake again.
It's truth he's telling, and you whelps can't handle it.
Adieu, you forecastle-headed fuddlers. See you at the gallows.
You'll all be dead men! Bastards! I need a drink.
Well. But anyway, let's take a look, now that we are fully sneaky. Let's take a look at that article I mentioned. Because we can. He's wearing, looks like a neckerchief. So anyway. When Women Pirates Sail the Seas, published by Marcus Rediker in autumn of 1993. And so. Anne Bonny was raised in disguise. Her father moved to Charleston. And then she ran away. Amusingly, we actually have a primary document here. It's this one. We actually have a document about it, which is not super readable because, you know. But there is actually an account, at some detail, of the court case for Calico Jack Rackham, and Anne Bonny, and Mary Read. Which is impressive. Ace, hello. I won't speak to you in French because every time I try, the French make fun of me. But, still, it's not entirely unusual. So some other examples, right? Bonny and Read perfectly exemplify what historians Rudolf Decker and Lotte Vanderpoel have identified as the two main reasons why women suited up as men. Read did it to escape poverty, while Bonny followed her instincts for love and adventure. But other famous women include Christian Davies, Hannah Snell, Anne Mills, there were a few others that get mentioned, I think. Yeah. Maybe this one is just those ones. Real life Moll Flanders as a literary example. And then, of course, this depiction of Mary Read, and then Rediker connects it to Eugène Delacroix's La Liberté guidant le peuple. Right, liberty coming over the ramparts. Well, liberty guiding the people, but we know it more as liberty coming over the ramparts. right, connects the general history of pirates to Delacroix's thing, which is funny because we saw that image in the email chain in the metaplot, so it comes full circle. It's sort of. Mostly? Kind of. But yes, they are very, very strange and exceptional. And, you know, Black Bart Roberts and says, no women. The officers are all like, no women. It's bad for discipline. They might do stuff. But, much more interestingly, right, the description for Anne Bonny and Mary Read actually notes, let's see. Here we go. Right, other captains specified that Bonny and Read were very active on board and willing to do anything. When Rackham and crew saw any vessel gave chase or attacked, Bonny and Read wore men's clothes, but other times, presumably free of armed confrontation, they wore women's clothes. So in terms of, you know, gender nonconformity, they seem to have been very fluid in that, and were not captured or detained by force, taking part in piracy of their own free will. And also swore. Hooray. So yeah, right. A little bit of that connection of rejecting social norms and constructing an own life, and then through Delacroix, movement into like individual liberty. I mean, traditions going back to at least Rome for that. For cross-dressing, adventuresome women warriors. But yeah. Just a heads up on them, that being a thing. Shh. You can't see me when I'm crouched in amongst the ferns. Alright, now I wish to just leave. Don't mind me. Ow. My ankles. Okay. Anywho. As Redcar also notes in that article, there are a host of other reasons beyond being a pirate why there might be women on board ships, both in state-sanctioned and not state-sanctioned contexts. But turns out these two become... Right, Anne Bonny and Mary Read are effectively the dominant examples in popular conscience going back to the 18th century of the women pirate. Or I should say dominant... The dominant case after their lives. There are earlier literary examples. And every source kind of obsesses about how weird and neat they are. So even though they aren't alone, they get that outsized impact that we see going all the way through here. Yeah, and there's plenty room for trans readings of them and other figures.
Makes me bloody ill to think on how many times I've put up with Hornigold and his self-righteous shite.
Verily, you are a man of principle, Captain Hornigold.
Also, was this mission called the Gunpowder Plot?
Faith, and we'll survive this, Charles, with our pride intact.
Well, that's confidence. You brewed a plan I might get a taste of?
Nassau is over, that's plain to see. I say we skip out tonight and regroup at my compound.
Fair enough. What's your angle?
The Brits have brought their supplies ashore, see? If we nick some gunpowder and pine pitch, we can build a fire ship. and send it straight at the blockade, blasting it to smithereens.
Aye. We'll use Rackham's ship. Ain't a capable captain.
My conscience is clear.
Right. When you get the gunpowder, I'll secure the pine pitch.
Are we... Are we pulling a Spanish Armada? Like, what century is it? You alright, mate? Yeah, the problem is it's not just about... Right, it's... not really, strictly speaking, just about... the... The opening... Let me try that sentence again. It's not, strictly speaking, about the, just opening a gap in the blockade, temporarily, while a burning ship goes through it, and explodes. The trick is, part of the reason why they don't work much after the Spanish Armada, is that you have to keep it open long enough for ships to keep going. Like, ships have to be able to come and go. And not get run down. Okay, so you force the ships to move. And then when your ship tries to dart out. And then they're just gonna chase you down. Whoop. I was nearly... What the hell? Who did the kabooms? I guess it's them over there.
a lovely clear shot. I just have to pull the trigger.
Yoink. Well, wouldn't you? Well, that just means you need more fire ships, encircle them with fire ships, make them crash into each other while trying to avoid the fire ships. I see you went to the Francis Drake school of dealing with them. Worked against big, slow Spanish galleons in optimal conditions to get them all stuck close together. Does not seem to work. Dang it. Well, it was a good idea. Ow.
In my sight, clear escape.
Thank you. That's double snipers. That's arguably a problem. Yep, losing him. Totally. That's what we're doing. Yep. You lost me. Oh no. Did he just say...
Hey! Get out of that bush!
No. Well, I'd say that didn't work, but it didn't, not work. That poor chicken! Did you think the chicken did a murder? Sorry, sir, did you think the chicken did the murder?
There he be!
Chickens can be mean, maybe? I suppose so. Ow. Those were 2 bullets. There was frankly no cause for that. Rooster will tear you up. You're not wrong on that. You know, that's a fair point. Roosters will ruin your day with pleasure, because they're jerks. But being a jerk and committing murder are not quite the same extremity. God's sake. I need this sniper to just not. A rooster with a hidden blade might use it, true. Ugh, just bullets. Not really what I was looking for. Ugh, there's nowhere for me to go there.
You there!
You there?
Alright, stop. Stop there.
No.
Come back here and face us like a man. Hey, come back! You get here.
I don't want to face it like a man. Face it like someone who stabs people. Good job on falling down instead of over. So yeah, apparently Rackham and Reed did accept the pardon, and then a year later they and Bonnie stole the ship and just went back to pirating, you know? Frankly, I respect it. I got 3 months later. Well, you know. You win some, you lose some, and by some I mean a lot. A silver tobacco box worth 100 real. Well, alright then. I'd say that was a huge success. We stole some gunpowder. We did some other stuff. We stabbed a bunch of guards. We talked some history. And we observed that these, shockingly, somehow, people who make a living off of stealing stuff and being characterized as deceits, wastrels, scallywags, and frauds, when offered a pardon for pretty please don't do it again, by and large proceeded to do it again. Turns out that may, in fact, it was certainly a solution to the problem, but instead they resort to the old-fashioned, hang them until they were very dead. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. That by like by 1721, like 2 years from now, in game, they'll all be dead. I'm sure it will not be a problem whatsoever. Nope. Nope. Only good things for our pirate friends coming forward.
Split me.
Unfortunately, though, that is... we are out of time. And there were no manuscripts. We picked up 0 manuscripts today, so I'm afraid we shall have temporarily break our streak of being deeply distressed by whatever manuscripts they happen to pretend they have. They didn't take us to very many new places except Charleston, and Charleston didn't have a lot of stuff. Charleston was just a set piece. Or in Blackbeard's case, shot a half a dozen times, cut about a dozen times, beheaded and bodied them terrible. Yeah, details. Details. 0 manuscripts is a thoroughly mixed blessing. It's good for me, it's bad for all of you. Because you love content. We had the map of Charlestown. I guess we'll accept that as our manuscript what the hell for the day. Because, yeah. That sure was a map of a place that was totally, definitely, indisputably, for real we promise, on the coast of South Carolina. Right. So. Yeah, we're gonna call it here for a day. If you enjoyed this, make sure you hit that follow button, and if you did, also consider subscribing to help support the channel to keep enabling all of this good history content. I'll update the schedule when I have a better idea of when I'm going to have time to stream in the next week, so keep an eye here, and join the Discord for more immediate notifications. Also, if you are over on Patreon, expect an update this week regarding a new project and some other plans. So, you'll get advance notice about that. So, stay tuned. But yeah, I will see you all later this week. And until then, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for being part of the stream. And yeah, I hope you all have a very good night. Okay? Bye-bye.